Hello, my name is Matthew Barker, and today we're talking about sound and file formats. In this PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to be talking about sound and why it's useful, why there are new ways of hearing sounds, new ways of storing sounds, and ultimately why the world is becoming an incredible place because of sound. So, Foley Artistry. What Foley Artistry is getting different items that you could use, for example, pineapple, and banging it on the floor, and that could create a dense sort of, in a boggy environment, like walking through it, or getting celery and snapping it to simulate bones cracking. Sound libraries, this is storing different sounds in one place. For example, SoundCloud is a great example of this because it's easily accessible for all the sounds. Sound formats, this is how sound files are stored, obviously. It's, for example, MP3s or .aiff, which is Apple's version of MP3. Mono audio, and this is basically allowing for people to hear the sound in both channels of the ear. So if like someone's partially deaf, then the sound will be in that ear, you can still hear it. Stereo audio is where the channels are different, so if someone's listening to something, the lyrics might be in this ear, but the drums or the bass is in this ear, so it mixes the sound in different channels. Software sequences. Software sequences basically read when a key is pressed. So, for example, a MIDI keyboard, if you press on the keyboard, this creates a signal that is then sent to software, for example, and you can add a sound over when the key is pressed. Software plugins, this is adding more features to some software. For example, like I said about the MIDI keyboard, if you change, you can add plugins, so you can change the sound that is used. So you might not have a guitar, for example, sound that you need on the program, so you can add that sound to it with the plugin. And MIDI is short for musical instrument digital interface, and it is what allows for musical instruments to be blended together on a soundtrack. And MIDI keyboard instruments, like we've already talked about, it's typically a MIDI keyboard, and it just sends signals to a program, and it's just changing sounds on the programs that you might not have in real life. Sound compression. Sound compression is basically making the sound file smaller in order to make the file size smaller. So an example of doing this could be using a zip file, just to make the file size smaller. Sound decompression. This is when you take the file that you may have compressed, and you expand it or extract it. For example, you extract the zip file, and this unpacks the file that's been compressed, so the quality may be made better from it. Uncompressed, and this uncompressed files are simply files that are not altered or changed in any way. The file size is considerably larger compared to a compressed file, and this because the quality is not altered in any way, so the sound waves are expanded more than they would be if it was a compressed file. And lossless compression, similar to what it is, the .zip files, and this is where the files are compressed. The files are compressed, but they can be unpacked again at the same quality or very similar to the quality, whereas lossy compression, that is different because when you compress it and uncompress it, like the quality is lost altogether. The sound processor unit, this is basically like the sound card in a computer that allows you to listen to the sound, and that's what sends the sound to the speakers. People typically buy a new computer when the quality of the sound isn't as good as they'd like it to be, but it's just a situation of replacing the sound card. Digital sound processor, or DSP, it transmits the digital sound to the speakers so we can actually listen to it, and it's stored on the computer. However, it doesn't have the functionality of converting analog to digital sound. Random access memory. This is a form of computer storage on the computer, and this is what we need if we want to open up more programs. So if you want to play play songs and access the internet, for example, that all requires RAM. And if you don't have enough RAM, then your computer will crash. Surround sound. Surround sound creates the impression that the sound is around you, because it's surrounding you. For example, if you're listening to surround sound of an orchestra, for example, it's like it's all around you. Direct audio, or otherwise known as pulse code modulation. This is simply to represent the sampled analog signals, and it is pulse modulation technique in which the amplitude of the analog signal is converted to a binary value represented as a series of pulses. 3dVR sound, and this is basically creating the impression that you're in a certain situation. So if I was to stand in the middle, there may be someone behind me whispering in my ear, but there's not actually someone there. Digital and analog. Digital and analog sound waves are basically the difference between sound stored on a computer as binary and sound as actually like me speaking. I dial the analog that I'm speaking now, and it's how we hear that sound. Digital mini disc. The digital mini disc is a magnetoptical disc-based data storage device offering a capacity of 74 minutes and later 80 minutes. The compact disc. It is a way to store sound digitally, and this is because on the CD there are grooves in the CD, and every time a laser scans over those grooves, it scans the binary value in the grooves, and this is what allows us to actually hear the digital sound. Digital audio tape, and this is a standard medium and technology for the digital recording of audio on tape and at a professional level of quality. A DAT drive is a digital tape recorder with a rotating head similar to those found in a video deck. Thank you for watching the PowerPoint presentation and listening to it as well. Hopefully you found the PowerPoint useful and took in what I've told you. Personally, I feel like I'd be the right fit for the job that Sony's offering, and hope that everything I've taught you becomes more useful and enhances your knowledge.